Been too long. It has been entirely too long since I've done one of these introductions. So let's kick it off. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to season 6 here in F122. We survived the problems of F1 2021. We lost out on the end of season 5 because of disconnect issues, but it is 2022. We are here. We're back. It's a big season. It's a great season. We're kicking it off on a brand new track. But we can't change everything. So I've got one of my best friends here, Syntax. Welcome to F122. Welcome to season 6. How are you today?
Welcome Bradley and welcome everybody here on our stream on Fox's Racing League. I've never been so hyped as I am here, right now. New track, as you said before, Miami Grand Prix is going to be today's race, the first beginning of the season 6 of the Fox's Racing League. And I'm really good and I'm glad that the waiting is finally over because finally we can get back to the racing in our beautiful league. What is more, Bradley? Of course, new season and the same question, of course, as you always loved it, predictions. What are your predictions for, firstly, the winner of the today's race? Secondly, for the championship of the whole season in Split 2. Of course, firstly we have to say that we don't know a few drivers because we have some of the new faces. But I think we still have a lot of information of the previous drivers, right? So I'm really curious, what do you have to say about that?
So, knowing what we know from last season, I am going to go ahead and tell you Ferrari wins Split 2. Calling it. Ferrari wins Split 2, dominate the season. They can't do it in real life. They need to do it in FRL. As far as what we'll look at, new drivers are really going to mix things up. I'm curious to see how the new drivers do. But I do... that's a tough question, Syntax. You always love to bring me the tough questions, and I guess it's only fair since I normally do that to you. It's going to be exciting, whatever it is. I think the new drivers are going to mix things up a lot. I think Split 2 is definitely going to mix things up. I think some of the big names coming back are in for a challenge this season from some of the new drivers. Bibolino, Senor, Frederick, Pink, Velix, Kushor, Nextjack. All names that we know, Wasserschwein, all names that we know. I really think they're going to be in for a challenge this season. And I think some of them are going to have a little bit of a weight on their shoulders. They're going to want to prove, they're the veterans of Fox's Racing League. They want to prove that they're the veterans here and that this is their league. You're not going to have a newcomer come in and take on their league. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that, and we're going to see some tempers flare. It's going to be overall fun. As the season goes, I think it's going to be really great to watch. And of course, Ferrari, first car to come across here, is going to be pink and comes across at a 129.8. Purple sector 3, currently green sector 1 and 2. So he's got people going faster behind him, Vixie faster behind him. I believe that is actually incorrect. Let me take a peek here. That is correct. Vixie's name is actually Maverick, not Vixie. So I do apologize for that.
We have to change it later. But for now, let's go back to actually the first qualification session for the upcoming, right now, Season 6 for the Fox's Racing League. Vixie is again showing a beautiful pace as he done in the Bahrain last season. Do you remember that he was like a black horse on the whole race? He came out of nowhere totally shocking us with his pace, and of course he's providing his experience that he already gained. But what is more important right now, he get back to his old teammate Wasserschwein, and we know that both of them are cooperating really good with themselves, and we can be sure that both of them definitely will provide for us many emotions in this season. And both of them are representing a team of Red Bull. So also this is something fresh. And we can see now almost every single driver have already a time, and Vixie set the bar are really high. Almost 1 minute 28, so it looks really incredible, and I'm always shocked how close the drivers are to each other and how small gaps between the times are actually in the qualification session. And right now we can clearly see that how it looks like right now. But Wasserstein, as I said before and as I mentioned, 1 minute 28 seconds, 0.7. So both of Red Bulls are for now for the provisional pole position and for the second place. So both Red Bulls have been fighting for starting in the front row.
Red Bull, really strong showing here to start the season, and it makes me really excited. And I think the big thing we're going to have to watch for the drivers is how what they decide to do early on. Are they going to fight early on? Are we going to see any team orders come through? And I think that is going to be really important between Wasserschwein and Maverick to see what they choose. Looking at weather, 91 degree track temperature, 80 degree air temperature. It's Miami, USA, Florida. If you're Graxent in Split 1, you know exactly how Miami feels. But typical Florida, it's hot. Steamy weather, tires are going to be an issue in the race, I think. So for these drivers, it is going to be important for them to have a strong qualifying now. That way, in the race, they don't have as many issues as they come around.
Mm-hmm. Also, Brad, we have to something to change because on your screen I see that we don't have every single time the fastest lap per driver, but we have the time difference between the drivers. So if we could change that, it will be awesome. Also, maybe we can turn on maybe something new for our viewers. Isn't that right? Because Brad, and we have to set the hats off for the Bradley because he prepared for us a massive upgrade for the whole stream. We have a lot of new informations coming to you that you can actually see what is going on the track.
Absolutely hard at work here during the off season. Of course, missed the couple races from the last couple races of last season, but been hard at work during the off season trying to make some stream upgrades. You'll see some more stuff come throughout the season, but let's pick up with Bimolino here, and I think one of the things I want to see is just what his speed looks like as he comes around. So you can see coming around final corner here, hitting 250 kilometers an hour, 180 miles an hour as he crosses the start-finish line. Jumping on board with him here. We can look here. If you look on the halo, you can see down into third gear coming through turn 1. Yes, the halo HUD is here in FRL. Some hard work during the off season. A little bit buggy here and there, but we're going to work on it throughout the season, and I think that everyone's going to be happy with the results. I've got a couple more things up my sleeve, but we're going to save them for the race itself. Keep everybody on their toes. Hang out with us here as we go. Couple exciting things that I think are going to make the race a little bit fun. 9 minutes left to go in qualifying here, Syntax. Wasserschwein and Maverick standing out right now. I don't see a big spread through the field, but I see those two standing out. Is the track going to ramp up?
Actually, the Maverick will be beginning his newest try of the making the fastest lap as he possibly can to get. And of course, about the predictions that I was mentioning before, I weren't truly convinced that Wasserstein and Vixie will be providing such a big difference in the split 2, and we can see that they were training so hard just to show everyone that they really deserve and want to fight for the championship. But right now Vixie just spun and it happens. Miami circuit is really difficult, and you can trust me, Bradley, there are, I would say in the other way, there are not every single corner that you cannot spin. You can almost spin on every single corner, trust me, and it's so difficult. And basically, we already see how hard it is for Vixie just to go back on the track, and of course he have to probably change the new set of the new fresh tires because they were probably a little bit too much used, and on the Miami circuit the tire pressure is really important, and in the whole new game the tire pressure has to be as low as it possible just to get a very good grip on the track. And going back to our actual drivers, next year just set up the newest fastest lap, 1 minute 28 seconds, 0.5, just right behind him with almost exact same pace, 584 seconds. Kashti on the second place, Wasserfine just fall down on the third place, Bemolini Gaucho fourth, Maverick on the fifth place, Juro is on the sixth position, Muminek, Frederick, Kashor and Pins. This is how it looks like our currently top 10.
One of the things that I'm looking at here, Syntax, is I'm riding on board with Muminek. That's a hard name to pronounce. Muminek. Okay, I'll figure that one out. But riding on board with him and looking, he set a faster Sector 3 than Nexshack, who is currently on pole, and only got up P3. He's losing time in the first sector. And I think one of the things that they're going to have to watch, the drivers as they go, is they're going to have to pay attention to the lap and really decide here 5 minutes 45 seconds to go in qualifying, and most drivers are going to have one more run. They're going to have to decide where in the lap they push. Do they want to really push their tires through the first sector, or do they want to kind of back out and conserve and save?
Yeah, but also we have to mention that there is no necessary to start on the soft compound. You can pick whatever tires you want, so they don't have to save anything. Of course, maybe they're saving the new fresh pair for the race. But even though the whole strategy in this game will change like dramatically, because there's a lot of different strategies that you can use for now. For example, starting on the hard compound, changing it to the medium compound, and probably this one will be actually probably the most useful strategy on, I wouldn't say on every single Grand Prix, but most of them I think might be a very good decision.
Love that the tire rule was changed for F122. I love that they got rid of that rule so you can start on whatever tire, because it mixes things up so far up and down the grid. And it makes for some really exciting starts.
Oh, yeah.
I guess if you're Lewis Hamilton, you don't like it, but I mean, what can I say? We're not at Spa, we're at Miami.
Yeah, we have a beautiful quotes from one of the drivers that he said, of course it was Alonso, that this guy only knows how to start from the first place. And on the situation in Belgian Grand Prix, it could looks like this, but there's no place and no time for the speaking about the real F1, because we really have to focus on our league. And right now we're seeing also the Kushor and Pins on their hot laps. And do you think that under 3.5 minutes until the end of the qualification session, do we will have something different? Maybe the grid will change, and I'm really curious what will be like. What is your shot for the grid?
I think I'm looking at times. Kushor is down on his first sector, so this isn't going to be a great lap in from him. Pink is looking really good. Purple middle sector. So I do have a feeling that Pink is going to bring it through. Purple first sector, green in middle. So I think Pink is about to jump up here. We'll see how he gets through the end of this lap and right on board with him through the last couple of corners. He comes across and
Only one place.
Only goes up to P9. That's unfortunate because I was rooting for him. I think right now Wasserschwein is going to have to come out and put one more lap in and try to jump up. Everything's ramping up. All the times are really kind of closing down and getting faster. But I do think Nekshak, if he goes out for one more run, has that provisional pole locked.
I can give you inside info because Kashti is our engineer for the split one. Kashti is actually co-op driver, teammate of Żelazny in a different league. So we know that Kashti is going to show us also a very good racing. But for now, Neksiak just again upgrading his time, and we have now 1 minute 28 seconds, 0.3. So basically, the front of the grid will be very tight, as we can see.
Okay, so forget anything I've said up to this point. Kashti is going to sweep the season if it's Żelazny's teammate. Yep, and there it is, 128.005, up by 0.3 of a second. I hope you like the color orange, Syntax, because I have a feeling we're going to be seeing it a lot.
Isn't that like some kind, I would say, like a curse? First season of the Split 2, McLaren with Spaghetti Mafia and Fischer was going ahead. Second season for the Split 2, also McLaren with Puchacz. Right now, Kashti and Storek. Who knows, maybe we will see again a McLaren providing the best as they can. Definitely we need to say that McLaren knows how to make the negotiations with the drivers and how to get them to the company.
They do have great taste in drivers. They do.
Oh, yeah.
I give them that. On board here with Frederick. 45 seconds left to go. Frederick back here in Fox's Racing League. Glad to see him coming through. He's going through first sector right now into the middle sector. Looking pretty good so far. Green in the first sector for him, so very, very good to see. Continuing to go around here. Only 20 seconds left to go, so most of these drivers, this is going to be their final hurrah. This is all they have to give, and we're going to see what happens here. Kashti, provisional pole by 0.3 of a second. Nekshak in the pits isn't going to be able to get back out. Mumumek is in the pits, can't get back out. So this is all she wrote. And Frederick, purple middle sector. So we might be seeing some big names here coming back. Pink is going to be locked in at P9. Velik's locked in at P10. Zero, P7. Locked in. That's a new driver. We'll talk about him during the race a little bit, but good to see midfield qualifying out from him. As Frederick comes around here, final corner, where is he going to put himself? He throws himself up into P6. Bimolino comes across, jumps up into second place. Front row start for Bimolino with Kashti. A couple drivers still out, though. Wasserschwein is out. He may spoil everybody's fun here. Wasserschwein's going to come across. Where does Wasserschwein put himself? Only good enough for P4. Not able to put himself in a higher spot. And Kushor, final driver to put in a time, just now coming into the middle sector, going underneath the overpass through what I believe is the hardest chicane in Formula One. And negotiates it really well, actually. Doesn't hit the sausage curb, doesn't do anything to risk his car, and now it's a long run down the back straight. Purple middle sector for Kushor, so we're going to ride on board with him for the rest of this lap and see where he puts himself as he's running down DRS Open 335 Ks before he hits the brakes and comes around that hairpin. He's going to come around the final corner, and where is he going to put himself here? As he comes across, it's looking good for Kushor. Where did Kushor put himself? It didn't show me. Ninth place.
P9.
Not bad. Indeed.
So he jumped 2 places higher. So this is actually our grid, and Kashti, Bemolino, Nekshak are our top 3. Wasser, Muminek, and Frederick. P4, P5, P6, Vixi, Żuro, Kushor, and Pins. This is our actually top 10. After that, we have Velix, Senior Piotras, Storek, and Maku.
Good grid lined up, and I'm really excited to see how this develops in the race. First time here in F1 22 with a race in Fox's Racing League, coming at you shortly.
Because the race is already going.
There's no formation lap? This is a problem.
Yeah, are we back on the voice?
Yeah, we're back. Okay, what have we missed here in the start?
My game crashed.
Oh no, his game crashed. My game has no audio. There we go. Now we have audio. All right, let's start off with the wonderful AWS pit stop strategies. Hard to medium or hard medium soft, depending on this crazy, chaotic track. It's just getting crazier. Kashi gets away very well from the start. Next Shack, Frederick, Mumimek, Bimolino, Vixie, Kushor, Juro, and Maku. Senor gets past the extra track there. Wasserschwein, Peak, and Velix battle here for P10, looking very, very strong. All right, anyways. So no formation lap, and we're underway here. Syntax is left because his game crashed, which happens. But as we get through, we're now onto the main back straight here. And for the drivers, it's going to be a hard run here in the beginning. And it's looking really, really good for them. And as we watch here, we're going to look and see exactly what's happening. Where are we at here? Next shot coming around. Kashti through. And then if we look here, as we watch Next Track doing very, very well early on at the moment. Weather here for the race, it's cooled down a little bit. It's cloudy and 81 degrees, so it's actually gotten warmer. Track temp still at 93 where it's cloudy. Drivers still going to have to watch. Overheating of tires might be an issue. But as we watch here, going through Next Track, trying to chase down Kashti here as they go around the first sector after one lap here.
Okay, so basically we have to explain what happened with the formation lap. In this game is such a big bug that even when you're done a formation lap, the temperatures can go a little bit lower than you have actually done on the formation lap. So basically it's kind of pointless to do the formation lap, and we decided to not do the formation lap. That's why the race today just starts so quickly, and we are really sorry for the issues that we've made with the start. But we can see right now that on the back of the grid is very tight. Wasserschwein is trying to attack Velix on the inside, and beautiful. He pushed, of course, a little bit Velix, but he gained his position. I didn't saw what's happened because my game crashed, so I'm really sorry about that. But we can clearly see that there is already forming a small DRS train. Of course, the DRS will be enabled since the third lap. But right now, just look what happened in the third sector. Bemolino, Gaucho, and I guess it was Muminek and Juro spun out. No, the Muminek was the last person that the last driver that spun out on the last corner. And as I said before, this track is very technical, and you can spun on every single corner, so you can't forget about adding the proper amount of throttle, because if you will do a little bit more than you have to, you will spun for sure. But right now, let's go back for the racing. Beautiful overtake, Maku on Kushor, also going inside. There is also Juro coming, so it will be very tight going down with the main DRS in the sector tour. Just look right now, Kushor trying to attack on the inside, but he decided to step back, and he done it really too fast in my opinion, because he have opportunity to attack both of the drivers. But right now Maku is holding his fifth place, but going higher, Vixie is now losing almost 3 seconds to the Friedrich just get higher, and he is currently on the 3rd place. Next up, Kashti is going to overtake Nexiak, and just right now, maybe beautiful switchback from the Kashti to just be careful, do not spun there, and of course another DRS, so Kashti will have opportunity to once again overtake Nexiak, and he done it under the circumstances of the DRS. Kashti getting back his first place, but Nexiak is still fighting very hard right now, but he stepped back. Kashti have a better racing line, and right now we're seeing that also Kushor decided to go into box. I guess Bemolino finishing already his lap, but something's happened with Kushor's front wing. He have to change it, and he will be the last driver on the grid right now. But of course, it's only just the beginning of the race, 4th lap. So still 25 laps to go. Anything might happen.
Huge battle right now for Kashti and Nexiak as they come down the second of 3 DRS zones here. Little bit of a peek around the outside there from Nexiak, not able to make the move stick. We've got yellow flags every sector right now. Not sure exactly what has happened on, and safety car has been deployed. I'm not sure what has brought out the safety car, but there is a safety car deployed at the moment. I do want to go back here really quick. One of the things we've added in for this race, we can go back in and look at replays. I want to look at that replay here of Kashti and Nexiak battling now. Right on the inside there, Kashti just sticks his car in, goes a little bit wide. Nexiak tries to hold on through the chicane around turns 2 and 3, doesn't hold on to it, and is able to pull off a beautiful overtake there and get himself up into pole position, or into P1, which is where he finds himself right now on the hard tires going through. For Nexiak, it is still early days though, so plenty of laps left here. 24 laps to go at the moment.
Currently, only Muminek from the top 10 lose 2 places. He started on the 5th place, currently on the 7th place, and Wasser just lose 6 positions. I don't know what happened. Maybe some spun, maybe some contact. I didn't saw that. And Velix lose 1 position. Bemolino Gaucho 11 places. And we have a safety car, and also I didn't saw how is that happened. Someone crashed, or there was an incident somewhere?
Didn't see it either, so I'm not sure. That's what I was wondering myself, is why we have a safety car.
Maybe someone touched the wall with the contact, and that's why the safety car came out. Nevertheless, as you mentioned before, every single driver except Juro and Nexiak are currently on the medium compound. The rest of drivers are on the hards. So I'm guessing that they decide to start on the hards and change for the medium until the end of the race, because do you remember what I said in the qualifications, that probably the hard to medium will be the best strategy, because there is pointless to picking the softs, because softs in this game are percentage of usage of the softs are definitely too high, and it's not worth to even wear that. So basically the one-stop strategy in this game will be the best strategy for every single Grand Prix, I would say. But maybe in the other different crazy circumstances and situations, drivers might decide go for the softs, of course, the fastest compound. But we will see that the first safety car of the season is here. Did you miss it, Brad?
It only took 5 laps. I knew it was coming eventually. Safety cars, Fox's Racing League, it goes together like peanut butter and jelly. and I think my favorite thing is we're talking about strategy here, Syntax. You can plan a strategy, but you might as well just throw it out the window as soon as you get on the grid. Strategy here in Fox's Racing League, FRL, you can have one and try to stick to it. Safety cars are always going to mix things up here, and it's one of the things I love.
So, you mentioned before something about the replay, right? I don't know what you were talking about. Can you explain us?
Oh, another fun thing that I figured out how to do is through our broadcasting software is how to set up where I can record quick replays of moments. So, for example, the start of a race, I can set a replay of the race and then show that to you all instead of just being like, oh, did you notice how this happened? I can do, say, example this.
He done it.
So this is the overtake here. Kashfi on next shack down the inside into turn 1 and then side by side through the chicane. Instead of just saying that overtake was amazing, I can say, look at this overtake. Look how amazing this overtake was. And then we go right back to the race.
Bradley, I have to say that I actually have a goosebumps on my arms right now.
It's like we're actually live streaming Formula 1 or something.
Oh yeah, it might looks like this.
It took a little bit of a hassle to come up with, but I came up. What just happened to Pink? What was that?
Maybe replay because now I saw the situation.
Took a little bit of a hassle to come up with, but I came up stream. The Ferrari just slammed. What? Did he just pull a George Russell?
I will say grand finale of strategy for the Ferrari.
Spinata. Everything. Ferrari strategy. 1 of 1.
Vixie spun, I guess, and Frederick also. So for now, Maku jumps in the 3rd place. Nextcheck is already trying to attack Kashti. He going inside, but Kashti looks like he have a grip. And Juror just right now have a 5 seconds penalty for the ignoring the yellow flag. I don't know what happened, but the front of the grid always makes us more emotional. Maku going behind the Nextcheck, losing already over the 1 second. Just right behind him is Juro, also losing almost a second, but he's getting closer. He have a better exit of this turn. Right behind Juro we have a Maverick, alias known as Vixie. Velix coming on P6, but look at that, what is going on? Velix, Muminek and Kashor, they are going almost wheel to wheel. Muminek will be trying to get attacked, but Velix decided just to step back for a moment and just like, here we go Muminek, you can take this place, I will give you. Why? Velix, just fight for it. This is your beautiful 6th place on the grid. But even though maybe Velix have a different strategy for that, maybe just holding in the slipstream of the Muminek, maybe he want to use DRS on him, but because Muminek also losing over the 1 second to Vixie, now he is getting closer, so maybe there is still chance for Muminek to get back for a little bit higher and take the Vixie's place.
Looking up front here, you've got Cassidy and Nextcheck side by side going down the main straight here as they come down into turn 1 and come around. And they're continuing to go through a little bit of a snap there from Nextcheck of oversteer. He catches it, but for him, that is going to cost him that P1 at the moment. But they're going to continue to go down here and come around through Sector 1, through the S's as they go through. In at the moment, Nextcheck has no response. That oversteer costing him greatly through. And looking here, let's take a look though just at the difference here between Catchy and Nextcheck as we look here.
Oh no, Kusher just spun probably on the curb and he crashed. So this is the 2nd driver that he DNF'd, and we don't have safety car actually.
Don't see a safety car yet.
Still a yellow flag in the sector 1, but I don't see any information about safety car coming. So the race still is going on, so we don't have to focus on imagining how the strategy can be changed, but we can actually focus on pure racing. Just right now we have 12 drivers on the track, and basically this is a 3 points today. Only the Senior Petras and Wasserstein are out of the points, but they have a fresh pair of the mediums. But the main issue for the Senior Petras and Wasser is that they are losing almost 30 seconds to the Storex. So basically this might be a very difficult situation for them, but we also know that both of these drivers have an amazing pace, so maybe we still have a chance to see that they are coming back. Still 20 laps until the finish of this race.
We'll say the battle for last place is just as exciting as the battle up front right now, watching these two big veterans here of Fox's Racing League go through. And it's great to watch, I'm not going to lie, as Wasserschwein does get the pass there on Senor. And here's the thing, safety car could bring them right back into the mix. If we get a safety car, that 28 seconds is negated there. And I thought we had a safety car earlier, and now we might have... No, Bimolino spins, but he's back underway. And I think it's worth mentioning, going back to the front here, Kashti and Nekshak, who are still battling as they come around through the underpass section. I love this part of the track. It's so technical, and it's so easy to do what Nekshak did there and ramp that sausage curb and damage your car.
Oh, and now Frederick just spun Velix. He hit him on the back. So that's why Velix just spun, and it wasn't a very good situation for Frederick, and probably it could go with the penalty points. But even though, let's go further. Vixie is trying to attack Mumini. Can you see that?
Let's see. I do have that pulled up here. And let's look here at the difference in pace between those two as they come around. It does look like there is a significantly higher run here. And you can see Maverick with the DRS open. Look at the overspeed that he gets on Mumimek. But still, just not close enough to get the pass done into turn 1. He's going to have to be a lot close, and that doesn't help.
Also, I need to mention that Kashti is doing a really good job. Why? Because the mediums, the percentage of used mediums will be definitely better for Kashti, because Nekshak is still pushing behind the Kashti. Kashti have a hard compound. Both of them are 9 all-year laps. So basically, the Nekshak is pushing as much as he can. But this is, I will say, not worth it, because Kashti have a better situation just right now. But Kashti almost drift and spun, but somehow he managed to save that position. Right now, wheel to wheel, oh no, and Nekshak push out the Kashti, and he loses the 4 places, falling down for the 5th place, and that was a really dirty from the Nekshak.
Oh, that was so messed up. Nekshak, though, now with Maku in P1, is trying to have a run down the back straight here with DRS open on the better tire compound, maybe a little bit more wear. And Nekshak, a massive snap of oversteer there, and Zero with a massive snap of oversteer as well. So they're both gone, but safety car out. I believe yellow flag all sectors. It doesn't say safety car, but I think it's safety car.
Yes, it's safety car. And also, I've seen that situation. Maku tried to go really outside on the last corner. He loses the grip and he turned into the next shack. That's why he loses also the grip and almost spun. But somehow he secured his car, and I would say even saved Maku from the spin. But even though we don't have safety car, it was only a VSC, and the drivers are back on the racing again. Kashti goes back for the 4th place, overtaking Frederick. Just right now, only 2 tenths behind the Muminek. So I believe Kashti will try to attack once more the whole grid, and he looks like he really wants to stay on the podium in the first race in his career in the Fox's Racing League.
I can't say I blame him. The podium is a good place to be. As the drivers run down here, I do want to jump back. I love this replay feature, and I want to use it as much as I really reasonably can. I want to jump back here, and I want to look at that incident again between Nexshak and Kashti, because I couldn't tell if it was contact. Looking here, it looks like what happened was Nexshak is just cutting that sausage curve too deep there in the chicane, and it caught him out. And unfortunately, Kashti was on the outside, had the racing line, had the advantage, and just lost out there. Very unfortunate. At the moment, it looks like Nexshak being able to get away with that, but Kashti still only down in P4, so didn't lose out significantly, thankfully for him, but still losing out on P1, and he's going to have to fight his way back up.
The really good idea, I think, and I believe might be an overcut going to the pit lane a little bit earlier before his opponents done that, and this is the possibility for the Kashti to get a higher place, and of course Nexshak should done it also a very near moment, because his medium compounds are 11 laps already, so definitely Kashti, Muminik and Makor are in the better spot right now. But look how Kashti is close right now to the Muminek. There was a very close and tight, almost touched Muminek and cost him a spin, but he saved that. And yeah, I would say the most significant situation on the whole track is right now top 4. Also Velik is trying to catch Storek, losing less than a second, but the rest of the grid just right now going their own race. Also I've seen Senior Piotras left the session, so probably maybe some connection issues, I don't know, but Wasserschwein and Vixie doesn't look like that strong as they were in the qualifications. Of course there was many different situations right now that caused them spun and losing the positions. Nexshak decided to go to the pit lane. Now he is on the fresh pair of the hearts. And what is more, Bradley, maybe you don't know, but when you're coming out from the pit lane, your tires are really cold, and you have to focus on the first lap just to get the higher temperature on them.
The outlaps do prove critical here. I think what really proves critical right now too is Kashti here battling the AlphaTauri teammates together and breaking a little deep there, going a little wide, but coming back around, able to get himself back into P2, and now his goal is going to be to chase down Maku, and I'm really curious to see how he is able to do that. Looking at sector times here for them for the last lap, it looks like he's a little bit slower than Maku at the moment, but I do think he's going to be able to catch him here. Only 0.06 of a second last lap difference, but that was fighting with his teammate. But look at the overspeed he has right now. Slots back in, coming near the penultimate corner. Just close enough, and I think Kashti has 1, maybe 2 laps left before he's back up in P1 where he was.
And just look at that, he will try now to attack Maku on the first corner, and he done it! Going outside on the racing line, and then Kashti going back on his P1, Maku and Muminek P2 and P3, so also a very good race for both AlphaTauri drivers. Just right behind them, Friedrich is trying to catch them on, but still losing this time, and it's almost the 3 seconds time gap between him and Muminek. Storek also losing a very high amount of the time, almost 9.5 seconds behind the Friedrich, sorry. Velix trying to catch out right now the Storek, and maybe he will be in the DRS, so there's an opportunity for the Velix to catch Storek and maybe fight for the 5th place. He's getting much faster than Storek. Maybe he will try to attack. No, he decided to step back also. And I need to admit that both of Alpine drivers are very very awareness of the situation on the track, and I would say this is a very good a value for a driver that knows when you can step back actually and when you can fight, because there are not making a dangerous situations on the track. So a big congrats for both Alpine drivers.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that I feel like we've seen in Fox's Racing League throughout the seasons, of course, I've been here since season 3. One of the big things that I feel like we always see is drivers just not knowing when to stop, not knowing when that moment is to kind of back out, watch, and wait. And it's one of those things that it's the experience and kind of I don't want to say relaxing as a driver, but realizing that it's a long race. If you're not on the last lap, there's no need to risk your car and risk someone else's race just to get the pass done. It's perfectly acceptable to sit back a couple corners, sit back a lap, see where you're faster, and take advantage where you can. There's no reason to sort of push through unless you're going last to first and you just have a crazy overspeed on the drivers in front of you, and you have the fastest car, but you're in the back due to penalties. There's really no reason to sort of force yourself into a position. If you're the faster driver and you're the more skilled driver, you're going to get that position eventually.
I will fully agree with you. And the situation for Kashti looks like this. He's currently on the P7, losing 6.5 seconds to the Nexiak that is currently on the P6. Fresh medium pair of tires. Is it possible to stand again on the podium? Because look, now Muminek decided to go one more lap. Maku, Frederick just decided to go to the pit lane. Velix have a 10 old lap hard compound. Storek also decided to go one more lap. So the situation on the track will definitely change for us.
I think the big thing right now is going to be for Frederick here, where he comes out. That was a long pit stop, 8 seconds almost. And where does he come out in terms of relation to Kashti and what can happen there? For Frederick, chasing down Kashti is going to be important. But for Kashti, he really needs to go through. I do think he can stand on this top step, and I don't know why he couldn't. My biggest concern would be, well, Syntax, I'm drawing a blank here. I was going to say Mumimek going to the end, but he still needs to pit. He hasn't pit yet, has he?
Which driver?
Mumimek, P1.
Muminek. No, he hasn't pit yet. Or maybe? I don't know actually, to be honest. Because it shows me like his hard compound is 15 old laps. So basically, it looks like Muminek went to the pit lane on the first lap. And I have also inside information that Kashti have a big bug with the pit stop, because there's a television pit stop and holds him 5 seconds. So that's why he loses a big amount of the time.
Oh, wow.
But right now, even though Kashti just overtake Maku, and Kashti also makes a fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 31 seconds 0.0. So basically we can see both of the McLarens will be fighting really hard, but there's also a contact between both of Alpha Tauris, and that was looking very scary for us for the moment. But for now looks like situations calm down a little bit and we're getting back to the racing. Storek also, I guess, step back just to get the Kashti a higher place. Looks like Storek decide, okay, Kashti is a faster teammate, so I will let him go for fighting for the podium. Even though, just look, only 1 second behind Velix, that is currently on the second place with 12 old lap hard compound, and looks like Kashti is really trying to get that first place once again. But of course in front we again see Nexiak. Nexiak is also performing a very good race today, but can you agree with me that that situation that we saw on the chicane with Nexiak and Kashti would possibly cost him some penalty points and penalty time?
The stewards are not going to be nice to him just after that. The way that happened, unless there's something crazy from his on board that we can't see, I don't think the stewards are going to be very kind to him. Kashi, of course, getting past his teammate, extra wreck there. Team orders absolutely played in there, and now you can see Kashi and Velix dueling it out big time. And of course, Kashi puts his car beautifully on the inside around through the first chicanes or S's and is able to put himself in a great position there. Now he just needs to set off and chase down Nextjack, and that is a 3-second gap. And just looking at the difference here, 3.4 seconds the gap, and we're gonna watch and see how he brings this down as he goes across the next 11 laps. I would say 3 to 4 laps at this pace. Kashti can probably be up front challenging for the lead.
And we also check the difference between Kashti and Nexiak in every single sector. I think this information could be really useful for us. Okay, so basically the sector 1 is for Nexiak, only 1/10 behind him is Kashti, but both sector 2 and sector 3 are much faster for the Kashti, so basically he's earning almost 0.3 seconds on per lap, so there's a high chance that Nexiak can be overtaken by Kashti, but still it's 11 laps to go, and as I'm always saying, anything might happen. Also, Senior Piotras, I would say even the bot AI driving for the Senior Piotras just decided to go to the pit lane and exchange it for the old pair of hard tires. So that's also a very interesting situation. Even though the situation on the track looks like it's getting a little bit calmed down, and also from the P7 to the P1 there is a possibility of the using the DRS train, and of course might change everything. This isn't that much a big gap for the drivers that weren't be able to overtake, and of course DRS might help them a lot.
DRS is always powerful, even though the goal is for the cars to not rely on DRS for overtaking. I do think DRS is still needed to a degree, but it is very, very powerful here in Miami, especially across the back straight where Kashti is. That's where a majority of passing has happened today, and I think as we go and we watch, it's just a matter of who catches up to who at this point for where the passes happen. Moving back there, catching up to Velix, DRS open, and the pass is done and gone. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Fresh medium tires against old hard tires. It was really, really not going to be a challenge there. And Mumimek up into P3, and he is going to be working on chasing down Kashti as well. And looking at that gap, it is 5.3 seconds, and Mumimek is losing about 8.5 tenths a lap at the moment, so we'll see if he's able to kind of gain on that a bit or where that goes. He's gonna have to watch Velix behind him though. Velix, a fast driver, even though he's on the older hards, he has a lot of pace, and he's gonna have DRS if he can stay close enough, which with Tired Egg it's hard to know if he will or not. 1.7 seconds the gap now, Kashi to Nextjack. 1.6 seconds. That is continuing to close as we go, and 0.6 of a second taken out of that gap the last lap. Syntax, he's closing at just a ridiculous pace. It's gonna be a matter of 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, I would say exactly the same thing. Also, can we show the tire degradation for Nexiak and then for Kashti, because I'm really curious how the situations for both drivers are looking like. And also that you mentioned Kashti with a flying pace right now, and as you said, maybe 2, maybe 3 laps to possibly overtake on Nexiak, and it looks like it is possible to done that for the Kashti, and I'm really excited because the first race of the season, and it show us a really high amount of the emotions of the collisions, and we're also seeing that Miami isn't a very very good track for overtakes. There is a small amount of them, but if they fighting for each other, then we can be sure that every single driver will provide us a full of a bag of emotions. But right now we've seen on the screen the tire progression, and it doesn't works properly, so we will try to figure it out for the next race. Of course, we believe that you're enjoying these modifications for the stream, and of course we are so sorry that something maybe isn't working properly, and we will try to fix it for the next time and prepare for the best that we can to get the best point of view for you. But right now, let's go back to the racing. Right now, Kashti is just in the DRS zone. Maybe he will try to get closer to the next shack. Of course, he will have also the DRS in the main straight, and it looks like Kashti will be continuing the fight for the P1 with the next shack. And since now, 7 laps to go.
Laps to go, and things are absolutely ramping up here. Jumping back though, Frederick and Extrac are battling it out there, and that is a good battle as well between the Haas and the McLaren, side by side down the main straight as they come around. Inside goes to Extrac, and he is going to hold on there to P4 at the moment.
Frederick has to back off and try to leave the space for Xtorek, so that's why he loses a little distance with the Xtorek. But right now, Frederick will be in the DRS. Xtorek has some problems with the exit on this corner. Also, look at the age of his tires. Oh my lord, 21 laps on the hard compound. Xtorek, you have to go to the pit lane. Maybe he will decide to drive on the hard compound whole race, and it will be a beautiful. I don't know what's happened, but Frederick just stepped back and give Xtorek back his position, and it shows us that maybe there was something like the incident or the improper overtaking. But right now we're coming back to the Nexjak and Kashti. They are fighting again. Nexjak again have a DRS, but Kashti have a ERS, so he still have a chance to overtake him, and the battle will continue, I would say, until the end of the race.
This battle is going to culminate into something amazing, Syntax, just as we watch and continue to go through. Kashti coming around here, 3.5 tenths, looking at the last lap. Again, Kashti 0.4 of a second faster, so it really should be anyone's game. A matter of when, not if, for Kashti. He just needs to get close enough to get the pass done, and I'm going to guess DRS is going to be what does it here. As he comes down here, the second of 3 DRS zones around the second sector, he's going to look around the outside here. Is he close enough? They're side by side. Coming around here, he's going to have the outside, switches back into the inside. We've got yellow flags out for something, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Kashti has gotten the pass done here, and now he's just got to hope Nexjak doesn't ramp the sausage curb on him again. He doesn't. They're good. They come around back DRS. Now the issue of can he defend this comes into play. Nexjak is going to have DRS here, and Kashti just needs to deploy his ERS, go full speed, and defend this out. It looks like Nexjak didn't have a good run off of the last corner there into the back straight. Not close enough to get a pass done, but is going to try to close this gap up. So this is just a cat and mouse fight until the end of the race, and it's really anyone's guess who comes out on top.
Also a very interesting fight coming between the 5th and 6th place. between the Mako and Frederick. Frederick will be trying to go inside, late braking. Now a better exit have Mako, but Frederick just closed the door. Mako didn't have a space, and now he have a DRS, so that might be interesting, because also from the P1 and P2 the fight will also have a fight between the Mako and Frederick. P4, P5. I don't know what happened. Some things went wrong, or maybe I have some bug. I don't know. Muminek is still holding his P3, but Kashti have a 3 seconds time penalty. So right now, Kashti have to turn again his flying mode, and he really need to find these 3 seconds if he wants to hold his first win in the FRL Foxes Racing League. Right now, Nexiak don't have a DRS, so this is a big opportunity for the Kashti, just trying to turning on his flying mode, and we can see that Nexiak probably don't have ERS because his lamp is blinking on the red, so we already know what is going on. So this fight might be a really difficult for Nexiak, but only thing that he have to done is only the hold the pace and still hold the 3 seconds gap between him and Kashti, just to hold the first FLL win in the season 6.
I think one of the interesting things here is that they're both charging up, and then Kashti's teammate, Extract, did go into the pits their last lap, threw on a brand new set of soft tires, so he's probably going to be trying to steal the fastest lap near the end of the race here. And watching as they go through, at this point, Kashti needs that 3 second gap, as you said, Syntax, but I don't think he has enough to pull that out, because unfortunately 10 lap old mediums, his tires are probably going to start to feel it here, and Nextshak's tires are 12 lap old hard, so he's going to be in a good position to kind of relax and hold on. And then Mumimek on the mediums and P3, he just needs to relax for the rest of the race. He's got 12 seconds back to Frederick, a little bit more now at 13. It looks like he's pulling away a little bit, so really for Kashti, he needs to find a second in 4 laps, which he might be able to do. I don't know for sure. He just needs clean laps to the end, and maybe he's got enough to pull out.
And of course, he also need to avoid any other penalties. If he will catch another 3 seconds time penalty, it wouldn't be that easy as it looks right now. And as you mentioned, he's still gaining that time in front of the Nexiak, but I've seen that in the chicane in the sector 2, he also gone a little bit off the track, so I'm not sure that he had the information of the with the warning of the cutting out the track limits. So I hope he will hold it, because the fight is really amazing in the first race, and I'm really wondering what we can expect in the next races, because we have in this season 16 races until the Christmas break.
16 races to make it to Christmas, and you would think, by the way, Maku and Maverick are battling, that it's the final race of the season. That was crazy, and now you guys are going, oh no! What was that?
I'm not sure that Vixie just hold Juro, and that's why he spun out and crashed the barrier. But is it safety car or virtual safety car?
Safety car.
Yeah, safety car. So this is probably the end. Dreams for Kashti.
Oh no! Kashti! So Kashti's gonna have to pull out 3 seconds in like 1 lap. Kashti's gonna go into the pits and of course serve this penalty here as he goes 2.6 second stop. Not a bad stop there from Kashti. And you can also see Mumamek into the pits as well. We'll see where he comes through here as everybody's going to cycle into the pits for fresh softs, I'm sure. Nextjack not into the pits. I think he was past the pit line before the safety car came out. Frederick's not in, though, on those mediums. He's going to take the track position instead. So Kashti potentially completely off of the podium at this point. Maku and AlphaTauri with a sort of interesting double stack there. Front wing change coming through from Maku. He's up and away. Extract is in, and he is going to be in and out here. A little bit slower of a stop, but not a bad stop. Man,
This is a very bad information for Kashti, actually.
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season.
Here,
that was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh, no!
If you can see, is
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh, no!
That was on the inside, but it was someone on the inside.
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh, no!
And then clipped.
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going,
I
oh,
can't tell who that is on the inside.
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh, no! Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh, no!
Red Bull.
Maku and Maverick are battling. It's the final race of the season. That was crazy. Now you guys are going, oh,
no! Hits him, and that's why he just lose the wheel. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Wasserschwan with a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Nextjack with a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That changes everything, Syntex. That changes everything.
So we're coming back to the racing again, and now Kashti actually have a big chance to get back on the P1, even though he have to find 3 seconds just to run out in front of the Frederick. Certainly also Frederick have 12 laps old medium compound, but right now Kashti going inside, beautiful overtake, going in front of the Nextjack, and just look at him. It's going, this battle going to be legendary.
It doesn't matter because Kashti and Nextjack both have penalties, so Frederick can just hold on and stay in the mix. Frederick or Mumek could be in the set for a win here. This is amazing, and it's only 2 laps to go as they go through. Kashti has gotten past Nextjack, so Kashti is going to be pushing for a fastest lap here. I'm sure of it, and Mumek is there in P3. He's going to be pushing. No DRS for the rest of the race, so this is all just going to be pure pushing and pace. This is going to be crazy, and it's just the first race of the season. As they go down, Kashti's in the lead here. No issues for that. Almost a second gap already on Nextjack. Nextjack on 15-lap-old hard tires. He is going to be under a lot of pressure here through this final lap as they come around here. Mumamek in P3, only a couple tenths back. He's just got to push. You can see harvesting from Nextjack as he comes around, trying to hold on to enough ERS to save himself. And Frederick, 13-lap-old mediums, is just going to try to hold on to the back of this because he knows it means a podium for him if he can just hold on to the back. This is potentially Nextjack dropping all the way down to P7.
A totally unfortunate situation for the Nextjack, but that 5 seconds penalty didn't came out of nowhere. He knew what he done, and probably game decided to give him that penalty. But even though, do we believe that Kashti is possibly go with the fastest lap and the winning of the race? Right now Muminek going in front of the Nextjack. Nextjack will be struggling a lot in this last lap. Also Frederick is coming back in behind the Nextjack, so as you said before, Nextjack might lose a lot because of that penalty. Frederick wants to hold that DRS, but a really bad exit from that last corner, and Kashti holds only 2.2 seconds in front of the Muminek. I don't believe that he will find the 3 seconds in the last corner, or maybe we will see, but I'm not sure about that. Muminek is also holding a very good pace, and this is the end of the first race in the Season 6 Foxes Racing League.
Across the line here. Mumimek is going to come across and finish him. And as we come around, we're getting our first lap started in. And we can see yellow flags coming through. All the drivers trying to slow down and get a lot of space here. But we can see as we look at the moment, that is not Jack who we're looking at. All right, a little bit of technical issue here, but I think we're okay. All right, never mind. Yeah, we're good. Everybody is Jack, it looks like. Okay, so now nobody is Jack. Anyways, looking here on track, all the drivers getting out to start their laps. Some things we talked about with Syntax during last race is just how technical this track can be and how difficult it can be at times. And it's going to be really exciting to watch and see how the Split 1 drivers handle this. Of course, as I said before, this is the seasoned group here in FRL. Of course, our Split 2 champion is in here, and then our Split 1 champion as well from last season. And that was because everything was crazy for last season. Last season, we had Tazo win Split 1, and Split 2 was, of course, Sanquinor. I was just looking at this before. So Sanquinor is in here. Razor 98 with a 128.0. So things are starting to ramp up quickly. The driver's wasting no time getting going here and keeping me on my toes as they are running around here through Miami. Looking at the drivers and the lap times we expect. Lap times are going to keep coming down. 127 point. Was it a 127 flat that we got pole and Split 2 with? I believe it was. So we're going to watch and see how they come down in relations to that. At the moment, looking here. At the weather, it's again same track conditions as we had in Split 2, 81 degree air, 93 degree track. Not bad at all. So very, very warm Miami day, just as we would expect. Every driver has done a flying lap, and I think everybody's about to come right back in the pits. The only person who hasn't is Sanquinor, which I think is really, really interesting that he has not pit yet. Or he has not came out of the pits yet in order to put in a time, and I'm curious to see if he decides to do that. So looking, trying to see. I mean, it's a toss-up at this rate, right? On who is going to do the best here in Split 1. Every one of these drivers are good. I think we know. I'm a little biased, but this is Syntax's season, right? I can be biased, I think. I mean, he is my co-commentator for Split 2, so I'm allowed to be biased towards Syntax. He had a very, very rough season last season, and he's due for some good results, and I do think that he has it in him. If you look at Split 1 last season, you look at some of these drivers' results. Syntax was P19 in the standings, and just it wasn't great for him. But I don't think we can judge anyone based on their previous year, that is for sure. Because this is a new year, it's a new track, it's a new car, it's new regulations. So everyone is in a good position. So Matouche here, it looks like is doing a second push lap potentially. Or he was trying to do a second cooldown lap and has spun out in the chicane. So that, unfortunately for him, is going to result in a trip to the pits. And everybody is right back out again. I think that's interesting that everybody is in together, out together. Let's look at some of these fastest sectors here. Again, that's not Jack. That's Sanquinor. Well, we won't be using that, guys. Let's jump back on board with Sanquinor again, and we're just gonna do this and be done. All new layout, all new HUD, all new designs, so there are some technical issues to work out. I do apologize about that. I'll have it fixed before next weekend, hopefully. But as we watch here, Sanquinor coming down the back straight, third DRS zone through your lap. Coming around, you can see it looks like that was his teammate getting away with getting out of the way without any sort of situations there. And Sanquinor is going to come across and put himself P6 for his first lap. Not a bad lap time at all. And we can watch here Razor, who is out on a flying lap himself, looking at your fastest sectors. Comparing Razor to Syntax at the moment, which I don't think is accurate. I think it's John Meister that's up in P1. Looking through here, Razor, his teammate right there in front of him of Noda. A little bit of a slipstream. I'm really used to seeing Noda in orange, so it is going to take me probably a race or two to get used to that. We're already halfway through qualifying here and watching the drivers go down. You can see DRS open, but a little bit of weaving from Razor. I think he's doing a second push lap here. I think he aborted this first lap, which based on his lap times doesn't surprise me. So I think he's going to do a second push lap here, which is going to be a little bit different. No, he's straight into the pits. So now we'll jump on board with Noda here as Noda comes through. Pujols there, John Meister up. We've got yellow flags going around. Trying to watch here. It is a bit of an art form to be able to keep up with qualifying laps and who is doing what. So we're going to jump on board here with Maddie. Maddie is on a flying lap here. Maddie coming around the final sector. Doesn't look like he's having a bad time here. And Maddie is going to put himself up into 5th place, half a second up on his best lap. Now let's jump here. Syntax, who I believe is on a second push lap, potentially, or going on his end lap. I can't tell which. But Syntax in AlphaTauri this year, or this season, a little bit different look there from him. Again, gonna take a little bit of time to get used to, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. And he sets a purple middle sector there. That's very impressive from him. We're gonna jump on board with him here and watch as he comes down. You can see full on the throttle, DRS open, 335 kph before hitting the corner and hitting the brakes. He's going to come around here and he is into the pits. Purple middle sector, but goes into the pits. Interesting decision there from Syntax. I think he could have put a good second lap there, but he wants to opt into getting the fresh tires and getting ready to go through. His teammate Tazo there up in P2. Syntax currently setting P10. Other drivers out here. We do have some new faces here in Split 1. And I think one of the ones we want to talk about is Polita here. Newer driver. I'm interested to see how they do throughout the season. I don't know a lot about their background, unfortunately, but it is going to be interesting to see where they are able to put themselves in finish. I think the biggest spot we're going to have to watch is that right there. That chicane, of course, caused a big moment with Neck Shack and caused a big moment in Split 2. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that does and what that causes here in Split 1. Cashty in Neck Shack is who it was. In Split 2, Neck Shack going a little bit wide on the inside and hitting the curb, and then Neck Shack unfortunately getting taken out there from contact and ultimately costing him a race win in that moment. Polita up P16, currently was down a little bit. They're going to be going on a slow lap, I'm sure, here as we watch through. Razor just now starting a flying lap. We're going to jump on board with him and ride along and watch what he does as he goes through, and it's going to be really, really exciting to watch. He's going to come around here, and you can see already 170 miles an hour. 180 as he heads into the end of the first sector towards this hairpin. It tightens as you go, so you really have to just ride it out and have some patience. Come along into the middle sector, which... there's turns, but it's flat out for a Formula 1 car. They don't care. This is here. DRS open going down. And he's going to come around here, hit this hard hairpin to the left, cut it back to the right, and then come around 180 degrees, very reminiscent of Coda, and then the bus stop here, right over the sausage curbs. Try not to hit that too hard and send yourself into the wall. Cut all the way back. Come around, good line onto this back straightaway DRS zone, and just full throttle all the way through. And this is where you're really going to see the speed coming out of the car. He's going to be 335 kph by the time he hits the end here, and he is right there, right onto the brakes as you hit it. Come around the final corner, another corner, a little bit wiggly there. Another corner comes around, but actually he is going to opt into the pits and not finish that lap. Something about it that Razor didn't like, so he decides to call it there. It would have been a decent lap, I believe. He's in, and you can see all the cars in, out, and around in front of him. Sanquinor's teammate currently out a 128.3. He's down on the first sector, so not looking like a very, very strong lap at the moment. If we look at... well, this is glitching and pulling up things it shouldn't, but if we just watch through Sanquinor here coming around, still looking really, 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 really good. I'm really, really excited to see Sanquinor this season. Yellow flags out. Looks like that is just for drivers getting out of the way. Yellow flags all sectors. And Sanquinor is actually going to have his lap invalidated here. So this lap isn't going to count. I can't tell what he's on. We've got Squareski here. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Fortunately, one of the fun things about commentating FRL for me is trying to remember how people's names are pronounced. And trying to learn the new drivers and how you pronounce their names. Surprisingly, only a couple of new faces here in Split 1, but it's a couple of new faces, and we are going to learn together how they do and how they race. Across here, Skarski P15. Looking through here, Tazo is finishing up a flying lap at the moment. We're going to see where Tazo goes. Ignis has DNF'd out of the session there in the first sector. Tazo comes across P3 at the moment. Puhash, P2 at the moment. You can see right there in the corner the stricken Mercedes of Ignis, who it looks like may have just had some oversteer and went into the wall. Just went straight on there out of the first couple corners. Track very, very busy with 20 seconds to go. We're going to try to keep up with who's where doing what. It looks like Bartosz may be our last driver to start a lap, so we're going to watch with him as we go through and hold on to everything you can hold on to as we watch here. Noda coming around. He's going to be the first one to finish a lap. If he finishes it, and it doesn't look like he is, it looks like he's going to opt straight into the pits here. And we're going to come around here. John Meister coming through. Checkered flag is dropped. Matouche retired out. Sequinor is in P10. Noda, provisional pole at the moment, but who can beat him? Syntex, P5. Let's go Syntex. Matty, P6. As we go through, Razor coming around middle sector, continuing to watch cars go through. John Meister is going to be finishing up his lap right now. He's going to come through. Looks like he's opting into the pits and not to finish a lap here. And it looks like we've got Bartosz, who is going to be coming around. He will be the last one to finish. His teammate going into the pits at the moment. Who is next around? It looks like potentially Tazo. Next car around final corner, and he is more than likely into the pits as well. He had done a hot lap, and he is indeed going to be into the pits here. Let's jump on board. Buchik coming out around back in the sector. I'm watching to see if anyone's jumping out here. Frederick, P13. The moment does not improve. You've got the Haas coming into the pits there of Puhash. Tazo into the pits. Skierski into the pits. Barthez into the pits. Right now you've got Buchik coming around, and Buchik is going to opt into the pits as well. That leaves the last person to finish a lap to be Bartosz, and Bartosz is going to commit to finishing this lap. As he comes around, Bartosz, a little bit of a tap to the wall. Wasn't happy with that. Does not improve. And then Bernard, last driver that needs to finish a lap, but invalidating the flying lap he's on, he is going to be stuck there at P15. So a fairly uneventful qualifying session. Very relaxed. Glad to see all of the drivers surviving it there. Getting us up into a good spot. So now we just have to wait on these drivers to come through. We still got Graxon out on track driving around. But qualifying over here in Split 1 a little less chaotic than Split 2. But that's as we expect here between Split 2 and Split 1. Split 1 is usually a little bit calmer. Not as much chaos. And now for the short wait to the green flag. No formation lap here due to some issues with F122. But we'll be right back. And there is instantly no delay. It's 5 red lights and we're underway here. And it looks like Puhash gets away very, very well. Noda gets away well as well. Who is that there in the middle of the Alpine? I believe that is going to be Noda. I said he got away well. He got away horribly, in fact. And that's a massive, massive dog pile in the middle. There's a massive spin out there in the back. We're going to have to take a replay to see exactly what just happened there because that was horrendous. But so many drivers spinning through, and out of all of this, Puhash, Tazo, John Meister top 3, Razor, Syntex still P5, but how long? Oh, and that is somebody missing their front wing. Who is that back there? That is Syntex. What just happened in this start? What was that? Okay, now we're back up and going. I think here everybody is calm. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay together here. We're back through going around. First lap here. Oh, let's look at who's on what tire compound now. That might be important to know as well. And you can see right there, you've got Razor and Matoush battling out side by side, going through the middle sector into the chicane. It looks like Razor's going to back out of it there. Matoush is going to hold on, but back behind him, you've got a little bit of chaos as well there. Frederick there with Sequinor with Ignis. And Skirsky and Maddie battling as we go down the back straight for the first time. Looking at the weather here. Let's see what we can figure out. Weather 77 degrees, air 88 degree track, cloudy conditions here. For the drivers, Puhash putting in first lap here. And now let's see exactly what we have going on as we try to piece together what the drivers are doing. Oh, a big tire mix up here throughout the grid. And now Syntex into the pits, 5-second penalty for speeding, changing his front wing here. Going to be a bit longer of a pit stop for Syntex. You can see that's going to let Skirsky get out in front of him. Syntex 7.4 seconds, and after that first lap, a big problem. Graxit DNFing out. And that should be a safety car right away, I believe, if we can tell what has happened. Let's ride on board here really quick with Skirsky and see if we can see Graxit's car. This comes through, probably contact, because that is a weird spot for a car to be. But it does not look like there's a safety car at the moment. Let's see if we can find a board. Tell what's going on. It's a VSC at the moment. Let's jump back here real quick and look at a replay of the start as the drivers came through. Absolute carnage in the middle. And as they came around, you can see just sandwiches, people spinning. And it was just chaos from the beginning. We're back underway here from the VSC. And as we look here, Puhash is going to have the lead with John Meister 2 seconds back. DRS now enabled. We've got a big thing happening in the middle here. It looks like that is going to be Ignis who has spun out there at the end of the back straightaway. Probably some contact there. You could see it through your screen there. Noda, Frederick, and Bernard battling it out here. Noda's going to get the lead here and is up into P10. Now continue to watch here. Razor and Matoush battling. The moment it looks like Matoush ghosting out there. Maybe connection issues. Unfortunate for him. And look here. Barthez and Ignis. It looks like Ignis having an error there. And Barthez getting by. We're 3 laps in of 29. And this has been absolutely crazy so far. And a great way to start. Currently real cloudy. I'm curious if there's some rain on the way for these drivers. And whatever connection issues there were, Matoush is back in now, so no problems there. Looking at the battle right now, Tazo, little less than a second away from John Meister. DRS is available, and as we saw, DRS was pretty powerful through, and you can see Noda there with Matoush. With Matoush being ghosted out there due to connection issues, Noda is able to go through him, and Noda pulling out a fastest lap of the Grand Prix. all the way back in P8. So he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to have to keep our eyes on him as we go through here. Maddie in P7, currently 6/10 back from Sanquinor. You can see that battle just in front here of Noda. And Syntax with the fastest lap. Syntax, of course, in last place, but not that far away from the field, so he is still in a great position for finding himself further up the grid than where he is. So we talked about tire strategy in Split 2, and it was hards to mediums, I believe is what Syntax said was ideal to run. So I'm really curious to see where everyone's tire strategy goes here as Frederick gets past Bernard. I feel like Fatigo is what I should call him, so we're going to call Frederick Fatigo for the season here. Razor currently 7/10 back. Split 1 has calmed down significantly compared to Split 2. Split 2 had plenty of action going, and me and Syntax were able to kind of go at it. In Split 1 here, we're just kind of calm. Watching John Meister as he comes around here with Puhash. 2.3 seconds the gap at the moment here in the battle for the lead. You can see as they come through the middle there, just what John Meister has to do to kind of keep things going through the underpass section and then come around the back straight. Of course, 2.5 seconds, a lot of time he needs to make up there on Puhash, who's just off the bottom of your screen. It's not impossible, but it is going to take a little bit of pace, and I'm wondering if maybe John Meister is just conserving his tires at the moment. Getting ready to try to play a game of catch-up here. We have a yellow flag sector 3. It looks like that is going to be for Bernard spinning out, who's got back underway. It doesn't look like any damage that I can tell, at least at the moment. Yeah, no damage, maybe just a lucky little spin, but he's back underway with no issues. Let's jump back here to P5. Razor, 0.2 of a second off of Buchik. Buchik in the Ferrari. Razor, of course, in the Williams. And Razor with his teammate Sanquinor right behind him. So we're going to watch these drivers try to drag it out here through the second main straight. And we have a safety car or a VSC. Looks like it's a VSC that has been deployed. I'm not sure what that is for. However, it does neutralize the race. Drivers have to reduce their speed by 40%. So Buchik very lucky there as Razor was really trying to gain on him. And Puhash speeding under VSC picks up a drive-through penalty there. Unfortunate for the Haas drivers. He was in P1 there, and now I'm curious to see when he can strategically take this drive-through and where that's going to put him there. Buchik coming around. Buchik comes around, still in front of Razor and Sanquinor. Sanquinor trying to just keep up with his teammate there. Matouche has opted into the pits now, and lap 7 of 29. We're a little over a quarter of the way through the race now, and Razor is really trying to put some pressure here on Buchik. closest battle on track right now, and you can see Razor just patiently trying to catch up. And not doing half bad at trying to catch up either. He's holding on pretty consistent right there. And just looking at them as they come through down the back straight. Now DRS is going to be open, and just watch that speed difference as they come down as DRS opens. I mean, you're going to see it's not as much extra speed as you would want. It looks like that Ferrari is just killer in a straight line. Little snap oversteer there from Buchik, and that's going to open up things for Razor. Razor down the main straight is going to try to have a run. He's going to have DRS again as well. Is he going to be able to get a pass done? He's going to peek around the outside. Not close enough to get the pass done, so that is going to be all she wrote there in this opportunity. And now look at that. Sequador's teammate is right in the mix. Razor's trying to stick his nose up the inside here a little bit. Is he close enough for the pass? He's still not, but he was there, and Buchik knows he was there. Watching through here, and Razor just right on the rear wing there of Buchik. But look at this. Now you've got Sequador and Maddie that have been invited into this scrap because they're taking so long to figure it out that everybody else has decided to join now. And look at this. We're going to have four-way. It's wheel to wheel. They come around here through, and he goes deep. Razor goes deep around, and is that going to open up? Is his teammate going to go by his teammate? No, his teammate's just behind him. Sequador defending hard against Maddie there. And now look at that. You've got Noda in as well. Big DRS train starting to develop. And if you're Buchik, you're a little scared because this is all just for you. Buchik is still pulling out a gap, even with DRS, and I don't understand it. Look behind there, Sequador Maddie having a little bit of a moment there. And I thought for a second Sequador could have been passed, but he wasn't, and now you've got Maddie who is still trying to have a run there, and you've got Noda in the mix as well, mixing things up. But for another lap, they're all going to calm down here. Let's check in with our race leader here, John Meister, and he is just league of his own, just cruising. 3.3 seconds the gap here on the medium tires against the hard tires there, so his tires will start to dag a little bit sooner, but what that means for him is that he could switch to the hard tires here at some point and run the long game, which is a good option. Tazo just needs to stay consistent here. And Tazo does still have an opportunity to win this race. Of course, safety cars, VSCs can mix everything up. And if you know FRL, you know a safety car is not going to hide itself. And could have one right here. Buchik forced to the outside there by Razor. Buchik outside to the inside. He holds onto it there, but Razor, look at that rear wing right up against Buchik, and he is trying to keep up. And as they come through, still looking good. And they're so close as they come through. It's a little bit scary. And looking good. And Bernard retiring out of the session in the pit lane. Potentially a mechanical issue or some sort of connection issue, but he has retired out in the pit lane, so that is going to be race over for him. Watching through here as Buchik is continuing to defend here from Razor, and he is feeling the pressure. Has to be feeling the pressure by now because this is crazy. Noda has managed to get past Maddie in this mix, and here we go. This could be the moment there. Razor, for a second, had a look on Buchik. And now as they come through, come around. Oh, and they are scrapping there, and that is a lot of contact that just happened. But that does allow Razor through. Is Razor going to give the place back, though? Is he going to have to give the place back because of that? And he does give the place back there. Very respectful driving there from Razor, knowing that that was due to contact. He went ahead and gave the place back. That way, hopefully there won't be any more issues. But now he's got his teammate to worry about. Is his teammate going to be nice, or is his teammate going to hold on there? And that, ooh, it almost looked like there could have been contact between Sanquinor and Noda, but I don't believe there was. I think it just looked close. And as they come around here through the bus stop, around the backstretch. We're lap 10 of 29, 19 to go. And tell you what, first lap was crazy. It's calmed down. Now it's starting to heat back up here in Miami as the sun's coming back out. Things are going to start to warm up again. We do have a yellow flag here in Sector 3. Believe that is going to be for a Mercedes that has spun, potentially not our leader. I don't know who that could have been, actually. And there we go. Sanquinor, Noda battling it out here. Who is going to come out on top of that? It looks like it is going to be Noda who holds the outside line here. And now you've got Razor and Buchik battling it out. And this is going to get spicy here. Razor finally able to force his car in front of Buchik and come out on top in P3 here on lap 11. And now he's just got to hold on to it. Really good so far. Now this group of cars can calm down a little bit. Buchik, the cork in the bottle for all of these drivers. Razor, now he's by. We'll see if Razor can unleash some pace. But now Noda, his next mission is going to be getting past. And now all of that fighting, how is this going to culminate here? As we are starting to look at potentially pit stops here within the coming laps as they come around here. Noda very, very close to the back of Buchik. And I want to take a look really quick at what just happened there with Razor and Buchik. Great move on the inside there. There's the contact. This is the contact they had there a couple laps ago. And the contact happened. And then, of course, he did end up giving that place back. As they come down, Noda has DRS. Not close enough to Buchik to get a pass done. Buchik not close enough to Razor, even though he had DRS. A little bit of wall contact there, I believe, from Matty. Yellow flag in Sector 2. That is a McLaren, I believe, a Skierski that has spun there at the bus stop. It is. He's back underway. There are no issues. But there is going to be issues for Buchik here, as Buchik does have an Alpine about a tenth of a second behind him. And he really, really, really needs to push. And I mean, just look at this. Noda was a second faster last lap than Buchik. So Buchik is really going to have to pick something up and try to get through the gap. Only a couple tenths now. And it's closing every time they hit a straight stretch. Unfortunately, Buchik too far away to have DRS on Razor, but Noda with DRS wide open there. He's going to peek around the inside, brake a little bit later, dive into the corner, come around, and that for Noda is going to be P4. Buchik slowly falling back, pulling the Ferrari master plan, it must be said, and falling back there. There they go over the sausage curve. He seemed like he got a little loose off of that sausage curve, but was able to hold on to it. And now they all look good as they continue to go. Matty here in P6. Now going to be the next person to be chasing down Buchik. And it looks like the pace really is a problem here. But Buchik is going to think about sending it down the inside, decided not to. Maybe he is now because there was a little bit of contact there. That is going to be Noda that goes super wide. We're 3 wide coming around now. And who is going to come out on top of all of this? It looks like that is going to be Matty that comes out on top in P4. What a crazy moment that just happened there. Now we're going to break down in, and that is massive contact there between those 3 cars. That is Buchik, Sanquinor, and Noda with some massive contact. What happened there? Don't know what just happened there, but that was, wow, that was bad. Whatever that was, it was not good. Now that like multiple laps worth of battling has been kind of washed away by errors, Let's regroup here. So we've got Tazo in P1, Razor in P2, P3 Maddie, P4 Buchik, P5 Sanquinor, P6 John Meister, Frederick 7, Noda 8, Puhash 9th, Bartosz top 10. We're currently halfway through the race. And Syntax, the biggest loser at the moment, 11 positions down. Sanquinor up 5 into the pits, but now he's going to have a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is very unfortunate. Noda down 8 places so far. Maddie up 3. Big gains here from Frederick, up 8 places. Looking really, really, really good as he continues through. And as far as pit stops go, top 4 have not pit yet. Frederick has not pit. Bartosz hasn't. Ignis hasn't. Jumping on board here, Maddie in P3. Only a few tenths off of Razor. Alright, and all the action is now gone. Things have calmed down again, so we're going to relax for a little bit here. Lap 15 of 29, and really no big battles going on track except for, well, I think Sanquinor, who just came out of the pits on a fresh set of mediums, battling out here with Ignis, who's on 13-lap-old hards. I was going to say, this really shouldn't be a big battle there for Sanquinor to get past on the fresh tires. Ooh, a little bit of a juke there from Ignis trying to go past, and what shouldn't be a hard battle goes on for multiple corners. Sanquinor finally getting by there and finding himself up into P9. Your race leader Tazo going into the pits here. Let's see how this plays out for him. See where he comes back out. He should come back out ahead of Frederick, I believe. Or behind Frederick, but ahead of Puhash. Tazo in, set of mediums. Good stop there from the team at AlphaTauri. And as he's going to continue to go down, he comes out of the pit lane 19 seconds in. Very, very good pit stop there from Tazo from the team at AlphaTauri. And he is going to come out. And where is that going to put him? Maddie's going to be in and out of the pit lane as well. Tazo actually comes out in front of Frederick by about 6 seconds. So plenty of gap there for him to come out in clean air. And now for him, it's just a matter of running to the end of the race and getting through the rest of these laps. Of course, Razor and Buchik do still have to pit, so the only person he has to pass is John Meister, and John Meister has slowed himself down at the moment by trying to battle with Buchik. That's going to let Tazo open up some pace there on those fresh mediums and try to catch up. Now battles are starting to show back up again in the field. John Meister there with Buchik battling, and then of course behind we have Sanquinor. Oh, and that is a massive crash that just happened. Where did that come from? Didn't see who was involved in that, but that was huge. Now, it looks like this is a full safety car deployed. And this, unfortunately for Tazo, is not what he's going to want. As that essentially gives people free pit stops. But that'll put John Meister in front of him. Thankfully for him, John Meister's on hard tires. Tazo's on medium, so it should be a fairly good, consistent moment for him. So now the field is going to bunch up here, lap 17 to 29. Field's going to bunch up, and safety car will lead them around. And we'll kind of reassess where everything is, because there are some penalties out, which it looks like some drivers are going to go ahead and pit to serve. Looks like we are going to have another lap under safety car. And I think one of the interesting things to see there is Sequinor in P15 on a fresh set of soft tires. Syntax still way back at the moment trying to catch up. Hopefully he'll be able to catch up to the pack before the end of the safety car to help close the gap and negate some of that time he lost. From very unfortunate moments there on lap 1. Equinor picking up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It looks like that is going to be his bot that is actually going into the pits. Maybe? Can't tell if that's him or a bot or what's going on. There's so many little areas on this track that remind me of other tracks. Safety car is going to be in this lap, so what that means for everyone is the field will bunch up a little bit. Tazo will slow down. He takes control of the field, slow down, let the safety car go into the pits, and then he decides when we go. Did I say Tazo? I meant John Meister. Tazo is going to be looking to take advantage of whenever John Meister goes and keep up with him and try to pass him. And we are going to be back underway here, and it looks like Puhash spinning at the start-finish line. He is out. And then is that Syntax as well that has spun? Syntax losing his front wing somewhere off of that. Unfortunately for him, that is going to put him into the pits. At the moment, it looks like front of the field Everybody separated by only a few tenths. Everything's fairly calm, and everyone just kind of holding on, looking to finish the race. As they come around here, going into this 180-degree right-hander, you can see that Tazo is right there, along with Razor and Maddie. And last time we saw a 4-car battle go on, that was earlier in this race, and we saw where that finished. All of them lost places and fell backwards. But of course, no DRS for 2 laps after a safety car, so no DRS yet. It's all about pace and slipstream as they run down here. Tazo is going to be in the slipstream. Is that going to be enough, though, for him to get a pass done? It is not. However, looks like that is a Ferrari that is off back in the back. Looks like that is Frederick that has ran off. I'm looking here, they're still close, but they're not that close. Like, everything is still very, very calm. And then Polita here, we haven't talked about Polita a lot, but Polita's spinning there in the first sector, and that is going to drop Polita back. We've got John Meister, Tazo, Razor, Maddie, Buchik, Noda, Barthez, Ignis, Bartosz, and Skwirsky, who are your top 10 at the moment. Everybody coming through the bus stop there. No big issues that I could see. And now we're going to have this run down the back straight. And this is where things are going to start getting scary for John Meister, because this is where it is possible that he's going to lose his place. He hasn't been able to pull out a gap at all on Tazo or Razor or any of the drivers behind him, which he really, really needed to pull out in order to have half a fighting chance of getting out of DRS rage. And now DRS is enabled this lap. 8 laps to go at the moment, so it is going to be an all-out fight to the end of the race. Watch this here. Tazo trying to go through. Tazo's going to look around the outside. That's going to let Razor have a peek as well, though. Razor thinking about sliding up the middle. Razor not close enough to do that, but he is close enough to try to go around the outside there. And John Meister losing 2 positions on 1 straightaway. So that puts us Tazo, Razor, John Meister, our top 3. With Maddie, Buchik, Noda, Ignis, Bartosz, Barthez, Sanquinor finishing things out. And things still really close here, even with DRS. It doesn't feel like too many things are going to happen here. There's Noda looking to have a run around the outside. Maybe a little bit of contact there between Noda and Buchik. Closest battle we have on track right now is the Alpines. It's Noda on Buchik and Barthez on Bartosz. That is all of our closest battling at the moment. Noda here still trying to find a way to chase down Buchik and really not able to at the moment. Of course, everyone here is a veteran of FRL, knows very well what they're doing. And as I say that, Bartha is taking himself out in the bus stop. Back underway, no harm, no foul. Luckily for him, there was a large gap behind of him, so he's able to hold on to his position without issue here. Checking in on the front of the field, Razor half a second down on Tazo, with John Meister 0.8 of a second back on Razor. And then you've got Matty back here behind John Meister, only a couple tenths as well, trying to fight his way through. Fairly close. It really is just a matter of holding on and then hoping the TRS helps you. As they go through here, Matty gonna look up the inside of John Meister. He's able to make that stick with ease with the help of DRS and go through. Lap 23 to 29, Matty up into the podium places. But when you look here, all of our top three moving up pretty significantly. Razor up 5 places from P7 to find himself in second place. Everybody has stopped at least once. There are a good chunk of penalties that have been handed out as well to our midfield. So the midfield is going to be a big shake-up there. Not so much of a close battle going on now between these drivers. They are fairly close. Everybody's within a second, but now you've kind of got a DRS train going, so everybody's kind of calm here. And you see Sanquinor, though, trying to have a run here on Bartosz. That's a good battle here at the midfield. Sanquinor is going to run a little bit wide there. It's hard to tell exactly what happened. Frederick is going to retire out due to a crash in the first sector, and safety car is deployed here on lap 24 29. This is going to mix a lot of things up, as these drivers here in the front are going down to the pits. So it is going to be a question of, are these drivers going to decide to opt out and take what could be a free pit stop but could cost them greatly if they can't convert back? Or is everyone going to go into the pits? As we watch, you can see a lot of drivers opting not to go into the pits here. John Meister is opting into the pits at the moment. John Meister, the only driver I see that actually opted to go in for a free pit stop there. Everybody else opting to stay out. And fastest lap of the race is Syntax with a 1:29.6. Very unfortunate for what happened on lap 1 there, because Syntax would have been in very heavy contention for a high-paying place today. Just realized my mic hasn't been on for the past couple minutes. That's interesting. Anyways, still safety car. Haven't missed anything crazy. Just watching the drivers go around. We're waiting on the end of everything. For some reason, audio has gotten super loud. Anyways, as we come around here, is that a drop of rain I just saw? No way. Let's look at the weather here really quick and see what they say the weather is. Safety car is going to be in this lap, which means we will have a 3-lap shootout here. So air temperature is 75 degrees. Came down a little bit since the start of the race. Track temp is 86. Still a little warm. We're back underway here. As we watch here, we're back underway. You've got Tazo to Maddie. Tazo, Razor, Maddie, Noda, and there is something that's gone there because Razor's now in the lead. Tazo's in P2, and now Tazo's going to be challenged a bit. And now as the drivers come around here, it looks like Razor is just going to take off and build a gap out of nowhere. But everybody fairly calm through on the restart here. Of course, just a few laps left to go. And Noda there with a big challenge on Maddie. Noda not able to convert there. Big challenge, though. He was trying. And now look at this. John Meister up the inside there of, I believe, that is Squirski. And he is going to have that pass done. Is his teammate Ignis going to be able to follow him through, though? I don't believe so as they come around. So there's that. And now you have Sanquinor down in P11. In and out of the points as they're side by side going through the chicane. And that's a spin! That is a spin from Polita. And that also affected Syntax, I believe. No! But now, yes, this is rain falling. What in the world is happening right now? Noda goes around Maddie with absolutely not a care in the world. And now we've got Noda, Tazo, Noda, Maddie, our top three here. Buchik, P4 now getting passed. He's down into P5, Maddie P4, and rain is starting to come down. What are these last couple laps turning into? I don't know. Syntax up in the top 10. Syntax up in the top 10! And as they come through here, lap 28 of 29, a lap and a half left. As they're coming through the DRS zone. DRS is still available, so even though it's not available, but they haven't said it was turned off yet. They haven't called wet conditions as we continue to go through here. A little bit of chaos just to finish this race. A little bit of drama here. Now look at this. John Meister on Buchik. Very, very close. Skierski is a second and a half back. Buchik a little bit loose there coming through the chicane and the bus stop as they are all trying to fight for position here. And as they go through, turn around, the rain is just very, very light, so I don't think it's affecting them. It might just be a little bit scary to see there. John Meister thinking about having a dive there, very close to Buchik, and never mind about the rain not affecting him. John Meister spins, he's into the wall. That is going to be his podium gone. And as we go through now, DRS enabled for the final lap. They're going to have one time with DRS. Syntax up into P9 due to John Meister's spin. And Noda now 2/10 back. He is trying so hard to go after this win here. Noda does have a penalty though. 3-second time penalty for Noda. That is going to drop him back considerable places. Here at the end, that will drop him back out of the top 5. As we go through, so it really is a case here for Tazo of just holding on. For Tazo, that'll be a P1 secured if he can. And Tazo has just a third of a lap left to defend here to keep on. Sequinor battling out there with Ignis. Sequinor getting a pass done there. Very opportune time. He's up into P6, jumping back up front though. 0.4 of a second the gap here. Noda needs to close this down a bit, and he needs to get Maddie off of the back of his car and try to have a run here. Final opportunity he has to try to get a pass, and the gap is half a second. Coming down with DRS, it's not coming down fast enough. Maddie's not close enough to have a dive either, but that doesn't mean Maddie can't think about it. And as they go through, coming around the final corner here, that is going to be that. Sequinor up into P5, Skorsky up into P6. Now they're battling around here, and Sequinor is going to shut the door. They're going to come around here. Tazo to Noda, and it is going to be Tazo who comes through. Noda drops down to P3 due to penalties. Maddie into P2, and everyone's continuing to drop down. Skorsky is up into P4, Buchik P5, Sequinor P6. Ignis Syntax up into 8th place. After a horrible first lap, Syntax recovers for points. Barthes P9, John Meister P10, Bartosz in P11, and now we just need to wait on the last couple of drivers, Matoush, Razor, and Polita to come through and finish this race. Maddie finds himself P2, Noda 3rd place, and Tazo on the top step of the podium. What a way to finish this. Tazo, P1, penalties knocking. Wow. And this is why penalties are something you have to remember in FRL. Penalties can take you off the podium and ruin your whole race. You have to remember them. That's week 1 of 16 done. Just think, we have 15 more races in this season. It's going to be crazy. Hope everyone's able to keep up with the next 15 races. Tazo, Maddie, Noda, Skorsky, Buchik, Sequinor, Ignis, Syntax, Barthez, John Meister, Bartosz, Matoush, Razor, Polita. Your drivers that did finish. And of course, DNF's in there as well. From Frederick, Puhash, Bernard, and Graxent. That, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be week 1 ended. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope you all come back for next week. Next week is Spain, and that is gonna be fun. My name's Bradley. I'm the voice of FRL. Once again, I'll see you next week.